Hey everybody, I'm ML7 and we're back again with another VOD to review. This time a Gold 2 mostly Ana gameplay. So let's watch this. So I'm finally to the elo where I can just ego duel every Widow and I end up feeling kind of useless. This whole game I felt like I ended up just a heal bot. The Widow takes an aggressive angle on this fight and basically makes me useless, even if I don't die instantly. Not really sure how / where to be playing this. Maybe the stair is going down on the left, but that leaves me open to flanking, especially since she pops walls here. I'm generally very confident with positioning, I just can't play against Widow apparently. Okay, and talking a lot about mechanics and stuff, we're going to be reading this afterwards. So let's see the VOD review. That part with the chat over there isn't gonna be seen in the VOD, okay? We're just gonna zoom on Discord. This being said, let's watch this.
I see you.
Okay, it's from 355 until they die. So this is the positioning. This is goal 2. Okay. Kitten was lost there. Playing inside.
30 seconds remaining.
The time is short. Hold strong. Farewell.
Okay. Widow's still on top.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Afraid of the Widow there.
Healing you.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is something that I haven't covered in a very long time actually with positioning. Okay. Okay. Yes. This is a very good example. So let's go step by step. Let's go by the main thing that we gotta talk about, which is how can you get focused by the enemies? The number one thing that I always think about whenever I am playing Overwatch is, can I get one shot across the map? If the answer is yes, who can one-shot me? In this case, Widow can one-shot me, Hanzo can one-shot me. Keiko cannot one-shot me, Ana can't one-shot me, Junker Queen cannot one-shot me. Now, if I would play against Soldier and Cassidy instead of Widow and Hanzo, and against this entire team, then playing from here, although not optimal, would work. Why? Because in case I'm taking damage, I can get in cover, I can use the nade on myself, I can avoid the shots. But if there's a risk of me getting one shot from across the map, then even if the position that I have to take is not comfortable for me, I have to take it. Otherwise, I will die anyway. This being said, if you see me do this a lot, if I'm playing against the Widowmaker, you don't have to give her an angle. Even if this angle is great for you, you have to use cover. This is one thing that a lot of people, I feel like, is really hard to get into the habit of. If a position is incredibly uncomfortable for you, imagine how uncomfortable it is for the enemies to focus you. There are a lot of positions like these. I'll give you one. On Route 66 on defense, first point, on top of that gas station. That angle is bad. Let's be honest. It's very uncomfortable. The sightline is not that good. You have high ground. You can barely see anything. You have the feeling of dropping and giving yourself a clearer angle. But if it's uncomfortable for you, it is uncomfortable for them. So in this case, specifically against the Widowmaker, you have to play in angles where she doesn't have sightlines. In this case, this being Junkertown, she can see absolutely everything in this area. She cannot see this area. How is Widowmaker going to snipe you if you play on the stairs? What, she gonna wallbang you from here? She has to walk all the way over here to maybe see you. Until this moment, you probably will win the fight or would have lost the fight. But that's the thing, by your positioning, you're making the Widowmaker not focus you, okay? Because if you die, maybe the entire defense crumbles. Same here, like even if she flanks this deep and goes for display, then this is extremely uncomfortable for her. Extremely uncomfortable for her. So, don't give her the angles that she wants to take. Widowmaker wants to snipe you from long range, you're playing from long range in the open. Okay, this is exactly Widowmaker's wet dream, focusing you from a long distance. Now, if you'd like to play from this position and you want to be risky, stop hunting me. If you want to play from this position and be risky, then yes, you can peek here and heal and stuff, but this is still incredibly easy for Widowmaker. She's just going to look, hold the angle, and eventually you're going to peek. You're caught here. So, what's the best position that you can take specifically against Widowmaker? Close. You have to stay close against Widowmaker to pressure her into walking into bad angles. In this case, on Junkertown, which is one of Widowmaker's best maps, you have to play from, for example, this area on the stairs. Because you said that you're worried about flankers. Who can flank you? Kiriko can flank you, but your team, you're playing with a Roadhog and a Torbjorn and a Moira and a Cassidy, and everybody's going to stay close to you. So you have some protection. Widowmaker has to overextend to go for you. Hanzo needs to play ultra aggressive, and you can hear with the footsteps if he comes to you. Ana is not going to do that, and even if she does, it's a 1v1. And Jarka Queen, yes, I mean, you're going to hear her stomp. Like, if he just charges at you, you can just, like, run back a little bit or even drop here and use cover. Like, you know how you need to view it? If Widowmaker's here, and you hear her here, you know that you have this stairs, and maybe here, and maybe inside, and maybe this area. So, like, you're playing in this area, but you understand that you should not walk in this area. Does that make sense? It's kind of like, imagine green and red. Okay? Green means Widowmaker can see. You know those big scopes? So for example, let's say if Widowmaker is playing from here, imagine like she sees this entire area. This is green. You know what I mean? Like this is good for her. She cannot see the right side. The right side, this is red. Red area for her. Now, if she peeks this deep, then this is green. She can kill anybody in this area. But this is red. You know what I mean? This is what you have to do against Widowmaker specifically. Some adjustments have to be made against Sojourn, of course, and against Hanzo. But against Widowmaker, I think that this is the best habit that you can develop. This works on Circuit Royale as well. This works on a lot of maps. To make it... make the explanation a little bit more involved, more into your head with this. So this is where Widowmaker is playing from, right? This is, let's say, the entire area of the map. This is a wall. She can only see, this is her head, okay? She can only see this much area, but she can also, like, see this area. She cannot see this entire area. So even if you have cover, like, in these spots around the boxes, and you can, like, peek a little bit, then this is good for her. She can see and she can do something to you. But if you play anyway from here, then what she has to do is she has to walk over here, which might be a bad position, for her angle to, like, widen up and see more around her and see everything. You know what I mean? And this is not necessarily for Overwatch. This is for a lot of other games. This is for almost every FPS. This is like the general rule. It's like you're playing Valorant and you know that somebody's holding, I don't know the positions in the game, but they're holding an angle. It works for CS. It works for Apex even. It works for every shooter for that matter. It's about line of sight, okay? And what you can do to force them. Now, in Overwatch, it's a little bit different than in other games because you're usually fast and you have a bunch of abilities. So actually playing from here, even though it seems that it might be bad because somebody can peek around the corner and do stuff to you, then you can just turn around, throw the nade, throw the sleep dart, hear the footsteps, make them uncomfortable. So specifically for this part of the map, against Widowmaker, almost always play on the stairs, even if it's uncomfortable for you. If the Widowmaker goes in the back a little bit or she snipes from there, then of course you can drop and play around here. But like if you hear her over there, you play around the sight line. Kind of like one of those spy games, you know? So like she's grappling top left, you can do stuff here. Because this area is red for her. But then she walks over here and grapples here, you can play here. You know? Because this is green for her. And with time, you will understand that sometimes you can jiggle peek her and be like, yeah, you can play from here and peek, ooh, shoot me. Maybe one shot she does, that's her attention that you took. That shot could have killed somebody else. You just took her attention. And it's kind of like a mind game, you know? Like if you peek Widowmaker where the area is green for her, I would say, then you want to bait the shot, but you don't want to get the kill. You want to waste her time because you're still doing your job while she's not doing her job. Okay. So this is about positioning with Widowmaker, and this applies on every part of the map. This also applies on this part of the map, because I feel like a lot of people are complaining right now about one-shots. This is the way that you can play against Widowmaker. So for example, you're playing over here, or Widowmaker is attacking here, you're playing here. Of course, this position is amazing for you to see, but this is very comfortable for Widow. But if you hold this angle, this is, for Widow to kill you, she needs to go here or here. And then what do you have to do to close the angle? Go here, while healing your team. This might be uncomfortable for you, but it is uncomfortable for her as well. Okay, let's continue this. What is the second key moment that you want to talk about? Second key moment, at 12:35 for about 1 minute. I'm going to close chat because chat is like backseating. Oh my God, stream, like white background. No. I feel like literally nothing happens this fight. I definitely had a bad nano. I felt like I had to use it since the team fights this game felt so staggered. I ended up holding nano way longer than normal. Once again, I guess I'm playing scared because the Widow has the balcony. Probably the same concept that we have talked about earlier. 12:35. Let's check this out. This is a very good VOD, by the way. This is something that I haven't explained in like the past 20 VODs or so. So this is... Thank you for this one. Wait, it's at 12:35. A little bit further. Let's just double speed this. This next team fight.
Hello there.
Enemy turret ahead! Piece of scrap!
I'll keep you up.
Payload in motion.
Before this, before we continue with the example and we're gonna watch the team fight, I just want to say, if you approach the game by being afraid of what the enemies can do to you, then you're not in control of your destiny in the game, because you're dependent on what the enemies can do or cannot do, compared to you're dependent on what you can do and can't do to the enemies. Overwatch and gaming in general rewards initiative. You have to play very aggressive. You have to force opportunities. Like, for example, you don't have to play scared. Like, there's a Widow deck. I'm gonna heal her, but there's a Widow, there's a Widow. I'll give you one fast example without seeing the team fight. In this case, let's say you play from here. What I mean with this, you play from here, and you're afraid of the Widow. You're not afraid. You're aware that Widowmaker is playing from the window, okay? So, Widowmaker is playing from the window, and you know that she's gonna snipe you if you peek. Hear me out. She's looking from here. She does a shot onto the payload, and then she needs, what, 0.75 seconds to charge the next shot? I don't know exactly how much you need, but once she shoots, if you're close to her sight line, until she charges the next shot, you can peek a bit and then hide. That's like a small mind game that you can do, even though you cannot fight her essentially. There are like very small moments like these that you can do that can change the course of the fight, because Widowmaker realizes that a priority in the pick there is going to turn around from focusing the tank to focusing the Ana, and she might shoot and miss you, or she might shoot earlier and hit you, but you're not gonna die, which might save your teammate's life. It's all about like making these very small, subtle plays that you see a lot of high SR players making. Let's continue watching this. Let's see the team fight. Okay, and I'm gonna pause the VOD for like 10 seconds. Imagine someone talking to you like that in your face, Agel. Why are you screaming at me? My friend, two options, two things. First off, hear me out. I'm very sorry for screaming at you. From now on, I will just whisper in your ear. If you wanna watch other type of content and stuff, then you're welcome to watch other type of content. Secondly, please do not talk about the way that I'm teaching things, because why I'm doing stuff like this is to get fixated, is to make sure that my information is portrayed, because right now I raised an emotion in you in which you got like, why are you screaming at me and stuff. Maybe this helps you connect the fact that I was screaming at you, creates like a memory, a second, anything like that, that can connect you with the information. If you do not like my teaching ways and stuff, then you're welcome not to watch. But please do not be mean and being like, oh no, what are you doing? Why don't teach me the way that I want you to teach me when I never talked with you before and stuff? This is how I do it, bro. Okay? If it is me shouting, if it is me being passionate, if it is me being chill and stuff, it's all about trying my best to get a message across.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, let's watch this.
Keep fighting.
Oh. I see the skimming didn't even register to you.
Is that melody?
Help me.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
I'm here. Keep fighting.
Okay. This team fight is long.
I stand with you.
This team fight is very long.
Don't fret. I see you.
Okay. Okay, let's watch this. So, this is a bit of an explanation continuation as to what we said earlier with like the green spots and the red spots. It's also a concept that is being used in a lot of games. It is called slicing the pie. In Overwatch, it's a little bit hard to slice the pie. What this means is that, for example, in a game like Valorant or like CS, you'd peek like, instead of like peeking this entire area, at the same time and getting shot maybe from there, or from there, okay? You peek first here, then here, then here, then here. Like you check step by step. This is a concept that's been present in every FPS, to my knowledge. In Overwatch, because of how fast you move, it is a little bit hard to actually slice the pie. But that doesn't mean that you cannot use it to make your job easier. In this case, I would say slicing the pie in Overwatch means that not necessarily you have to focus the enemies, it's about making sure that your job is easier. In this case, wait, you have the nano available. Let's play a little bit in the back. So if you play in this area, then what you're doing is you're slicing the team fight, okay? You just have to focus in this area. If you peek this wide, then you have to care about this entire area. If you play from here, you have to care about a bigger area and stuff. If you rotate to this car and play from here, then you can focus on this area and on this area. So you playing in the open is what stresses you out and doesn't let you focus on one thing at one time. So let's watch the entire team fight again. This is good. Good nano. This is you slicing the pie. You know them shooting from the side. You know that Widow's right side. Perfect. You're focusing on one thing. That's it. Right now, you press tab, you check. You're 3 versus 4, by the way, because your Moira died earlier. You're 3 versus 4. You play slow. Okay? Now, what you have to do is you just have to live. When you're usually down 1, you have to live. You're gonna try to force something with a sleep dart and stuff, but let's continue the fight, actually. It's not overcomplicated. So right now, what you're doing is you're complicating it. Okay? You're at a disadvantage. You're 3 versus 4. You have nano. Let's say you land the sleep dart to the Widowmaker. What happens? You sleep the Widowmaker, what happens? Because you cannot kill her. Nobody can kill her from your team. Sigma doesn't have that much range if she's sleeping here. And all you can do is just pocket Sig so that he hopefully pushes the Zenyatta or pushes the payload as much as he can while he's getting headshotted. You peeking this and going for the sleep dart. Sig, by the way, is still pushing the payload. This is the most value that you can get out of this. You throw the sleep dart. You miss it. Okay, it happens. But look at how focused you are on Widowmaker. When look at Zenyatta and what he's doing on the side. You know what I mean? So you're chilling here. You go for Widowmaker. Now imagine that sleep dart was okay, a good intention. You didn't expect the Zenyatta to flank there. It was a good intention. But after you throw the sleep dart, too much attention on her. Because now you're zoomed in, you do a shot, you do another shot. Meanwhile, look at Zenyatta. Just walking on the side into the turret. Throw the nade, one unscope shot while you're in cover. Boom, who's alive? Only Widowmaker alive. That's trying to shoot the Sigma on point. You're winning the fight. You're zoning. She's in your head. She's in your head. This is why I'm talking about a lot of, and why I like these key moments. Because usually these are like the patterns that happen to you, to the ones that are submitting the reviews, most of the times, even if you're unaware of them. So in this case, you're like, Widow, I have to pressure Widow, 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 there's the Widow. And then you're in the open, and then you do an unscope shot that could have been a nade, or you could have killed Zenyatta, and then you peek again. Look what you're doing right now. Same thing, with complicating it. You have Torbjorn down below, you have Widowmaker here, you have to heal up the Sigma, you have to take care of the Zenyatta in the back, and you're playing here. Too many things at the same time. The best players focus on as little things as possible while trying to get the most attention possible. Okay? So right now, if let's say you'd play from here, what do you have to focus on? Zenyatta on the side and Sigma here by literally pressing D for a little bit. You already did your job, by the way. You pressured the Widow away. Your job is not to kill the Widowmaker. Your job is to make her, in this case, not shoot the Sigma on point so you can push the payload for free. Which is what you did. You threw a sleep dart and you shot her a little bit. Then boom. You want to go for the kill. Not your job. You back out. Again, we do some damage. Now see, like, you're thinking. That's the decision making. It's not that you don't know what to pick. It's that you have too many options and making these calculations as to what's worth to do. Is it worth to save the Torbjorn? Is it worth to play in cover? Is it worth to go for Zenyatta? Is it worth to heal the Sigma? Is it worth to look for a big nade onto the Torbjorn? Is it worth to shoot the Torbjorn? These options come with a lot of experience, and the way that you can make them easier is by, as I said at the beginning, slicing the pie. So play, if you would play from here, your job would be incredibly easy. Now we're in the open. Kill the Torb a little bit. He's on point. Sig is low. Again, in the open. Look at the stress that you're feeling. Torbjorn low there. Sigma here. Torbjorn in front. Turret there. Widow can shoot you. Somebody needs to push the payload. Zenyatta was flanking. Your teammates are coming back. Torbjorn's on point versus the Moira. Too many things. You know, too many things. This is why Sigma dies here, by the way. When instead of doing those shots, you could have healed up the Sig. Could have thrown the nade at the Sig. Could have just healed up the Torb even, you know? Him walking with that much HP is on him, to be honest. That sleep out was good. Now it's good, like, see how you're doing it by yourself? Playing nice and slow. Now you have the nades. That's a hard nade to land, and the fight is over. So, I would say that the entire outcome of the team fight would have been changed directly from the fact that you should have not focused on Widowmaker that much. So, again, let's watch from this point of view. And honestly, we're not going to review anything else in this because I feel like you have a good understanding of what you should do. But sometimes, some people get into your head. Okay? So in this case, yes, you're chilling. Like, look at the team fight from bird's eye view. Okay? I cannot click on free cam. This is weird. Anyway, look at the team fight. Look at the positioning. What do you have to do? Your team has to push the payload. The tank is dead. Who's going to touch the payload in this case? You know, like, if your tank is alive and it's a Sigma, or any tanky tank for that matter, they can push the payload. That's the objective of this. So if you take care of Sigma instead of shooting the Widowmaker, all good. Plus, could have killed the Zenyatta here. Imagine Zen would have died. Zen would have died. Sigma would have not been discorded. He would have just chilled on point. Widowmaker had to land shots. And then they come back, and now Sigma walks back. You know? One of the best things to, like, help your team is best things when you don't want to communicate with them and when they're afraid is to get a pick, right? To get a pick or to make them full HP. It's kind of a, not full HP, but close to full HP. Kind of gives them like a sense of security. But in this case, Sigma walked back a little bit because he got scared. I was discorded from Zenyatta. Let's see what Sig saw to understand what I'm saying here. So this is what Sigma saw. Easy dub, Widowmaker and Zenyatta. Wait, Zen's on the side. I'm getting shot at. Look how much he focuses on Zenyatta, then at Widowmaker. Then he walks back. You see what I mean? That hesitation. Then when he ults, he's already low HP. Then he knows he has to walk because he's the tank and he has the advantage, and then he dies. Obviously, this is not a vote review for the Sigma. Right? This is not a vote review for the Sigma. Poor bro just died there. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say with this. With the fact that you can oversimplify things by isolating the decisions that you have to make instead of giving you all of the decisions possible. Zen would have been dead there, so if Zen would have been dead, Sigma would have focused only on Widowmaker and he would have stayed on point. Right here, by the way, with how the fight is going, speaking of, Widowmaker has a huge advantage with the sightline. You will not be able to peek past this. They passed the payload. The tank is going to be back soon. 5 versus 4. The fight was lost already. In this case, the fight was lost already.
Pass into the iris.
Your positioning here is good. Right? Your positioning here is good. Now, if we would advance this, because we only have one more review of this. If we would advance this, we can do one thing.
Release me!
So she dies, and you really want to fight the Widowmaker and be in her head. This is literally a 2 versus 2, and you have to win it. When you're right here in the open and she shoots, you can crouch spam and try to what a lot of players are saying, ego peek. There's a shield here in front. You can rotate to the left side to create a different angle. And this is also talking about the pie a little bit, but another pie here. Instead of your team shooting the enemies that are playing there from over here, you create a split angle by shooting them from here. So you shoot the enemies that are playing there from this angle and from this angle. So they have to pick. They play from there or they play from there. This being said, one more thing against Widowmaker specifically, mechanically wise, and then we play. Then I'm gonna go and Olaf give you. One thing is, whenever you're trying to cross a path, learn to crouch spam. Okay? Learn to crouch spam. Sometimes even putting your head down in the ground can make your headshot hitbox slower. Crouch spam and move AD. Okay? Like AD dodge. Do not move like this. Do not jump. Crouch spam. And after she shoots once, a quick trick, if you're not low HP, you can move without dodging. Because she has to charge. There's a downtime. So let's say you'd AD.
Aim to petrify.
Boom. You don't have to dodge. You have to dodge. You don't have to dodge. You have to dodge. You don't have to dodge. You have to dodge. You don't have to dodge. You have to dodge. You don't have to dodge. You have to dodge. You know what I mean? Like there's a rhythm. If you watch me play, you're gonna see that I micromanage this a lot against Widowmaker. So like I car spam, then she shoots, then I walk. Then car spam, then shoots, then it's 1-2, boom, boom, 1-2, boom, boom. It's like a rhythm. Another thing that you can do against Widowmaker specifically to bait her to shoot you is picking corners like this. With Ana specifically, if you really want to do this, then this is super good to like sleep dart her around that wall. Because let's say you're playing from a window, instead of peeking like this and throwing the sleep dart, you can just jiggle peek. If she does one shot and you have to go to, let's say, that area, then you can like jiggle peek like this. She shoots, you car spam, she shoots, and then you get there. With how you dodge and stuff, this comes with a lot of experience. As long as you don't do like this and move predictably, okay. So card spam, just look to the side, be annoying, and sometimes, another quick trick, is when you're right about to finish, to get here, Widowmakers will usually put their cursor right here. So if you're there, they'll wait for you to be here. So if you feel like she has time for another shot, right when you're about to cross to that area, don't jump, as I said, but stop for a second or move back. Because she will usually pre-fire when you're right about to like get right around the corner. You see me do this a lot. It's all about like, you have control. You know, you're playing with her, you're toying with her. You have control. So again, jiggle peek and car spam against Widowmaker. Like you want to peek there, you car spam. Otherwise, you play from here, you don't have to do this. But there's a Widow, bam, 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 bam. She shoots, I can walk, oh, I stop, oh, I don't know. I really want to go there, oh, I stop, oh, I go. That's it. Can do against a lot of heroes, this strategy. This being said, let's hope in Olaf give you, because we don't have that much tips to give, because I think this was a very self-explanatory VOD. What to work on to improve fast? Your aim, I like it. Of course, anybody can get better aim. Positioning overall changes a lot, and this will help you do a bunch of stuff, honestly. So I'm just gonna put like this, dude. I'm just gonna put like this. I'm gonna put 10, 70, 10, 10. Your cooldown management was okay even if you're not landing the shots. Your aim was okay even if not perfect. Your decision making was okay with the situations that you were provided with. But because of your positioning, you are overwhelmed by choices. Separate the information that you have and try to make it as small as possible. Only use the necessary information. It's kind of like you have to submit a review of 2 pages and you write 50 pages when you could do something else. And you're not that passionate of the subject. So this being said, be proactive with positioning. As in, if it's how do you get uncomfortable? Uncomfortable for you, it is for the enemy. Okay, so if it's a bad positioning for you, it's uncomfortable for the enemies as well. Third one. Walls are your best friends, okay? Learn to jiggle peek. I think this is how you guide it. Jiggle peek around the corners. Think of who can headshot you across the map. and crouch spam when you are in their cross, in their LOS. And most important tip, with this you can do to avoid dying from the Widowmakers, avoid dying from anybody else from the enemy team, make teamfight decisions easier. It's literally what we explained for 20 minutes. Slice the pie. This can mean a lot of things, okay? It can either be you playing an angle so that you can see fewer, you have fewer options to pick from, fewer decisions to overwhelm yourself with. So yeah, just slice the pie. If you go into any other game, you'll see that this concept is explained thoroughly. In Overwatch, it's a little bit different because, as I said, the movement is too fast. You have a lot of abilities. Time to kill is kind of high. Hitboxes are different, but this doesn't mean that you cannot apply here this thing as well. This being said, please let me know in the comments in the future if you climbed or not from gold. And I think you got what it takes, honestly. Sometimes don't let the enemies get into your head, okay? Always think what you can do to the enemies and not what they can do to them. So, good luck.